you run into sometimes at the sawmill. We sawed this stuff here for a feller. Had somebody wanting this pine and we sawed it, stacked it up, and they never did come get it. We've covered it up with some plastic, but it was green when we sawed it. And this is what'll happen to it when it's green. If it stays stacked together too long. You can see this white mold. I've caught this soon enough. What you have to do is stack and strip it like what I'm doing here behind me. You gotta leave cracks between it where air can get through it and it'll dry it out. But I think we've got it soon enough. We'll still be able to use it, just if he comes to pick it up, we'll have to charge a little more for it because we're having to do this to it. If you're ever having to stack any lumber for yourself, I would recommend using at least a 3/4 inch strip. I like to put them close to the end and then about every 3 or 4 foot apart. And it's always best, I've found, to keep each run of strips over the top of the run below it. You always want to use dry strips. If you use green strips, it'll mold right where the board's laying on here. It'll mold and rot right there. This is pine. It's not the real tight grain pine. This is what I would call set out pine. It still makes some pretty good stuff for like subfloor or something on a little building. Even after you stack and strip it like this, if you've got a dry place to put it, it'd be a lot better. We've run out of places around here to put stuff in the dry, so mine will probably be sitting out like this. It'll last a long time as long as you've got it stacked and stripped sitting out in the weather. But if you want to keep it for pretty much indefinite, put it in a dry spot and you can leave it like this for a long time. Well, there we go. We've got this pile stacked. I've got probably 20 more over here I've got to get stacked. About got me out of breath. Broke a sweat. It's pretty cool here today. I think it was about 30 this morning. It's probably 9:30 right now. It's done warmed up quite a bit. But anyway, we'll get these other few stacked and we'll be done with this. I'm finding more and more uses for this little saw. I need to get me a battery powered chainsaw. I watched this one fella on YouTube, I can't remember his channel name, something Woods, but he's got a battery powered chainsaw at his mill and it looks like it's really handy. I'm gonna have to look into one of them as soon as I get to where I can afford one of them. They're pretty high for a decent one, but we're gonna have one here before long. This here's the rest of what I have to stack. I'll have to find somewhere to put our mailbox. I don't know if we got any mail or not. I usually have a hard time finding us here. I'll see if we've got any. No, there's something back in there, but I ain't gonna reach back in there and see what it is. Looks like an old glove or something. I think I found a place for the mail. That looks like a better place for it. Believe I can get to it right there. We're gonna haul these on the mule over there. Get them closer to where we're at so I don't have to carry them. See, these here starting to turn. They've been stacked here about 4 days together like this. It may have been more than 4 days. They've probably been here about a week and a half. It don't take them long to mold when they're stacked together and they're wet, especially in the summertime. In the wintertime when it's cold, you can get away with it a little longer, but in the hot summer, they'll mold fast. This is just some thicker boards Our saw, as far down as you can go, is 1 inch on ours. And sometimes when people want boards that's 7/8 of an inch thick, that last board, we can't get it that thick. So I usually use those in projects I do around here. Mill got a pretty good load on it. Still got quite a bit of that hickory firewood in there. These here boards, some of them's 12 foot long and 1 inch thick. And they're green too. That's pretty heavy. We got it finished finally. It'll make it last a lot longer. And like I said, if the man comes and still wants it, we'll still sell it to him. We'll just have to charge a little more for doing this extra work here to it. You can have your lumber done this way when you buy it from a sawmill. Most people don't. But most sawmills will charge you a little more and they'll strip it for you. We don't really offer that. We have done it a few times. We have a lot of trouble getting good dry strips. Now for myself, I don't care to use these strips from some boards that I've stacked around here. I'll rip them up on the sawmill. I don't care to use them for myself, or if the person that's buying it is all right with it, I'll use them. You run a risk of them having some moisture in them and causing your boards to rot there. But if you're not going to stack them but for a few months, that's not going to be any problem. I have cut them and used strips like this and leave them stacked for years, and it wasn't no problem. But you run the risk of it being some moisture in that strip. Now if you buy some strips that are kiln dried, you usually don't have to worry about that. But there ain't anywhere around here that I know of to buy them anymore. There used to be a cabinet shop that would sell you strips, but there isn't a cabinet shop there anymore. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. This is Burnt Church. I thank you for watching. I pray God blesses you, and I'll see you in the next one.